In this video, we're going to create the actual plugin file. Okay, so you want to open up your jQuery.linkit.js file. And it's a good idea to put some metadata up in the header. Okay, so we'll put in the plugin name. Will be Linkit. And let's see, put author. Feel free to put your own name. Let's see, you probably want to put the version. And let's put the license. Alright, so that's fine. Alright, so what we want to do is we're going to call a function. Okay, so we want to say function, and then we're going to pass in jQuery. Okay, this is so we don't have to do the document.ready. Alright, now we want this to run like no conflict mode. Because other libraries may use the, actually, wait a minute, this shouldn't be here. Other libraries may use the $, so to avoid issues down here after the closing curly brace, we're just going to put some parentheses, and inside there, I'm going to put jQuery. Alright, now inside here, we're going to define a function, so we're going to say fn. I want to do $.fn, and then the name of the plugin, which is going to be Linkit. All right, and then we're going to set that to the function. And we want to, actually, we won't do the options yet. Let me just show you how this actually works. So all I want this to do right now is to do an alert. Alright, so I'm going to save this and go to my index file, and inside of the head area I'm going to open up a script tag, and we want to make sure the document's ready. We want to run a function. Alright, and let's just say we'll pick the span tag. Alright, so if you want to run this plugin on the span element, all we need to do here is say span.linkit. Alright, now if we go and open up our index file, actually we didn't link our plugin yet. So up here, say script src, and then let's see, where is this? It's in the jQuery.linkit folder / jQuery.linkit.js. And we also need to include jQuery, so let's go grab the CDN. Okay, we'll grab that. Alright. Actually, we need to, this is local, so we need to make this HTTPS. Okay, so we're getting an alert because we're calling the function. Now let's alert this .html. Okay, so you can see that we're using this to grab the element that we call the plugin on. So we called it on the span. Alright, so what it's doing is it's getting the HTML inside of that element and we're alerting it. All right, so you can notice that we didn't use the standard this. All right, so when you're in the plugin, you can just use this. All right, so I just wanted to show you how this actually works and how we call the plugin. All right, so now we can get rid of this. Now we can pass in options. Okay, so you want to put options. All right, and then let's set default settings. And to do this, we want to create a variable. I'm going to call it settings. And we want to set this to $.extend. And then inside of extend, we're going to put some curly braces, which will take our parameters. All right, and then after the first options parameter, we want to put a comma, and then we just want to call options. Okay, so here we can define whatever we want, really. So let's make a parameter call whatever, and set that to we'll just set that to something. I don't know. All right, and then to access that, let's go down here and let's do another alert. Let's alert settings dot whatever. All right, so that's how you access options or setting values, settings dot whatever. And obviously this should be whatever this is. It doesn't have to be settings. Okay, so let's save that and reload, and we're getting something. Okay, now to actually have the user add this option whatever, let's just make this null by default. Okay, so for the user to add that in, we want to go back to index.html, and inside of this these parentheses here, we're going to pass in an options object, and basically we're going to do just what we did in the plugin. Okay, so we'll say whatever, and let's put anything. Okay, so that's how you can define your options. So now we get anything. All right, so let's put our real options in here. There's basically going to be three things that the user can define. First is going to be the href, which is the location or the URL, and I'm going to set that to null by default. All right, so then we can put a comma here. Next one, let's say text, and text will set to null as well. And then we want target. All right, and the default for a target is going to be self underscore self. Okay, if you want, you can make it blank so that it opens in another window. Okay, but we'll just keep it self for now. Okay, so first thing I want to do after we set the options is validate. Okay, so we're going to check and see if a link was put in there. Okay, so we can say if settings.href is equal to null, then I'm just going to do a console log. Okay, so we'll say you need an href option for link it to work, and then we just want to return this. Alright, because if this plugin fails, it's not something that I would want to alert the user so blatantly with an alert. So the developer is the one that's going to go in and fix this. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just logging it to the console. Alright, so if we go back here and just keep it the way it is, let's open up the console window, F12, and reload. You can see that now we're getting a log that's it's going to help the developer figure out what's going on. All right, so let's actually include it. Ahref, and we'll just say test.com, and now we shouldn't get that log anymore. All right. So after that, I'm not going to do a conditional for the text. I'll show you what we're going to do. Basically, if they don't include text, then we want to keep it as the actual text that they're adding the link to. Okay, so down here under the validation, we want to return this.each, and then in here we want a function. So this will happen for each element that you attach this plugin to. So we're going to create a variable called object, and I'm going to set this equal to this, meaning all elements with this plugin attached. Okay, and then under that, we're going to do a check for the text. So I'm going to say if settings.text is equal to null, then we want to set it to that actual object's text. Okay, so here we can say settings.text is equal to object.text. Okay, use the text method. Alright, so it's going to just use the actual text. In this case, it would be this text. Alright, so up to this point, it's still not going to do anything. What we need to do is output our link and text. So under this, actually you want to go outside of the each loop down here, and we're going to use the wrap method. Okay, so the wrap method in jQuery will wrap whatever you attach the plugin or whatever in links or whatever you want to add, whatever you want to wrap around it. In this case is going to be the link. So we're going to call the object variable and call the wrap method. And then in here we want to put what we want to wrap around it. So it's going to be an A link, and I'm going to set the target equal to the settings target. Okay, and then we're going to set the href equal, and we're concatenating here. We actually need to have plus sign here. So settings dot href. All right, and let's see, we can close the link now. Okay, so that's the first A tag, and then we just want to put the ending A tag. Okay, so that'll wrap it. Then we want to chain on here. We're going to chain dot text, and then we want to input the settings text. Alright, and that should do it. So we'll save this, and here we'll add our parameters. So we have an href, then we need the text. Actually, no, we'll just keep it the text, the default, see how that works. Okay, so let's save that. Okay, now we reload, and nothing happens. Span.link it. Oh, you know what? This object wrap should be inside of this each, because that's what we're returning. So cut that. We're going to put that inside here. Okay, so that should work. Okay, so it's linked and it's going to the right place, but it's null. So settings text equals object text. Oh, we didn't concatenate this. Oh no, we shouldn't need to. Settings.txt. Okay, so here this should be a single equal sign because it's an assignment. We're not comparing. All right. There we go. Okay, so now it's the original text. So let's go and pass in new text. We'll say click me. Alright, so now it changes the text. It opens in the same window. Let's go ahead and pass the target option. Target, and I'm going to set that to underscore blank. And now it opens in a new window. Alright, so that's it. Very basic functionality, but I think it's a good solid plugin as far as syntax and just for a beginner to learn what's going on. Alright, so in the next video we'll create the manifest file so that we can upload it to the jQuery repository.